Okay, so let's start by being crystal clear. um, this is a documentary for the BBC. It was on a clinic, a wellness clinic that actually claimed to be a fertility clinic. That claim is backed up by their Google search page, saying it's a fertility clinic in Belfast. Basically, they went in, the BBC, and did the best job of investigative journalism that I've seen in a long time. The programme is about an hour and a half long. It covered off loads of different perspectives of what was going on, which made it even more, I suppose, interesting, but also reliable. So the first was the whistleblower. It was an ex-employee that said, what is happening here? I knew was wrong. She is, you can tell, racked with guilt from what they did, and from the claims they had made and what had been going on behind the scenes. There were some patients. There were some patients that were ex-patients, obviously, that had spent thousands of euro. One lady had actually gone through many rounds of treatment, had unexplained infertility, eventually did get pregnant with treatment after taking loads of treatment from this clinic, loads of dangerous, harmful treatment, and ended up miscarrying. And when she did miscarry, when they took her bloods, they found out that she had loads of different other health issues going on as a direct result of those steroids given. They had the perspective of an undercover journalist who went in and basically gave a really grim medical history, asked lots of questions. She kind of pushed a little bit like, well, what are you? So are you a doctor? And those claims were sort of vaguely danced around, but it is brilliant just to see the undercover part alone. They also go to experts in the field, so like an IVF expert, a GP, to talk about the health implications of what this will say. I'm actually afraid to call it a clinic, but this business was doing, which obviously, as you can imagine, we're worrying at the least. They explore, like, how did she have access to things like IV drips? How did she have access to all these like steroids, things like that? It is absolutely fascinating. And then the final part, the real part that sort of, is so damning, is they go to the actual companies that produce, we'll say, the vitamin drops. And they ask directly, like, should this person be using them? And not only do they say, well, no, they're absolutely not licensed, or there's absolutely no evidence that this would help at all. They actually say that she is not trained to use their product, so she should not be using it. So across all areas of the documentary, they cover off what was wrong, where the problem was, and I suppose highlight how vulnerable people are and how you can manipulate and change things and dance in the grey areas and take total advantage of vulnerable people.